Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'm here today at the James Julia Auction House taking a look at some of the guns they're going to be selling in their upcoming fall of 2017 firearms auction. Today we have a Confederate single-shot carbine here. This is a breech-loading black powder carbine and it is called a Keen Walker carbine. And we really actually don't know a whole lot about these guns. Their origin was actually a matter of some debate for quite a while, although it's been pretty thoroughly sorted out now. This is the result of a company formed by two guys, predictably named Keen and Walker. And relatively early as a Confederate weapon, these were actually manufactured in 1862 at the Danville Arsenal, and they only made 282 of them. Now, the reason we know that number, but don't know a whole lot else about the company, is that the receipts for when these rifles were actually inspected and accepted by the Confederate arsenals, those receipts actually survive, and they tell us that there were 3 deliveries. The first one, they were paid $50 a piece for 101 guns. The second and third deliveries, the company was paid $40 a piece for 100 guns and for 81 guns. And that was it. Only 3 deliveries, only 282 guns total, and then they're out. So this is a 54 caliber rifle, and like I said, it was black powder. This is not a cartridge gun. We'll take a look at the breech mechanism in a moment. It does appear to be heavily inspired by the Perry and the Maynard guns. Now in the Maynard, they had a similar action, but when you open the lever, it actually pivoted the barrel. In this, when you open the lever, it pivots the breech block. This is also has some similarities to the Perry carbines. It's surmised that the Confederates actually captured a number of Perry carbines at the beginning of the war, and that may have inspired the design here. That's pretty much all we know about the actual design and manufacturing of the guns. There's not a whole lot to show you about this gun, but we'll take a look at what there is. There are no markings on the receivers. That's standard across all known examples of the guns. The only marking that does exist is right here. There's a proof mark there, I believe applied when the guns were accepted by the Confederacy. It should be a letter P, and it's about halfway worn off on this gun, a P going this direction, so laying on its side. These are bronze framed guns, not brass, interestingly, and in order to go ahead and cycle this, you would put the hammer at half cock and then fold this lever all the way forward. That is going to lift up the breech block. With the breech block opened up, you can then load a powder charge and a ball in there. This would be pretty conducive to a paper cartridge if you had one. It would let you load that pretty quickly. This is not meant for a metallic cartridge. There is a ring here at the front of bronze. On this one, it's pretty dark. It's hard to recognize. I believe that was there as an attempt at an obturator, the idea being that bronze would expand and form a gas-tight seal when the cartridge, or when the powder charge detonated. Whether or not that really worked is, well, I'm dubious that it worked all that well. It may have worked when the gun was really nicely clean, but I bet that didn't last very long. Anyway, once you have a charge in there, you simply close the lever down, cock the hammer all the way back. Oh, I already have it at full cock there. You would put a percussion cap on here and pull the trigger. The sights are very rudimentary, just a simple fixed rear notch and a brass or bronze front blade there. Both of these, of course, are in, well, they've seen better days. This is a pretty rough example of these guns, but there aren't a whole lot of examples of these guns of any condition. The stock on this is really kind of unusually long and also very narrow. And it's interesting to note just how long the tangs are on the receiver. So the top tang is really quite long, and the bottom tang is even longer than that. So why exactly that was done, I really don't know. I suppose it would help strengthen the thing. The screws, the attachments here are for the V-spring that provided tension for both the trigger and the hammer up there. These screws just hold the wood stock into that upper tang. It's interesting, the sight picture on this Keen Walker carbine is really tricky to see behind that hammer. The hammer is not quite exactly centered, but it's really close to it. And it's quite difficult to get a clear view of the sights past that hammer. Interestingly, we do know something about what happened to Keen and Walker, after 1863, when the gun company ceased to exist. Walker was actually elected mayor of Danville under Confederate rule, and then he would also serve as the first Reconstruction mayor of Danville. Keene did go on to do other business with the CSA, the Confederate government. He was in business with warehousing and supplies, food supplies for the Confederacy. So they both appear to have kind of gone their separate ways in search of endeavors that would be more successful than making 282 very simple bronze-framed single-shot breech-loading rifles for the Confederacy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know this rifle is not in very good shape. It's had a pretty hard life. But like I said, with 282 of these made, the survival rate on them is very low, and they are very difficult rifles to ever find. So if you happen to have a Confederate rifle collection and would like to add this one to it, take a look at the description text below. You'll find a link there to Julia's catalog page on this guy, where you can see their pictures, their description, their provenance, and all that sort of stuff. And if you're interested, you can come here to Fairfield, Maine and participate live in the auction, or place a bid through the website or over the phone. Thanks for watching.